Hi David and Monique, a quick video about the house and the changes we made so you won't be surprised when you come home and you say, hey, what the heck? Come on in and you'll see we made some changes to the entryway. Used to be big and spacious, but now April has a new hobby, and her hobby is collecting china. So we added a china cabinet here, and we kind of repurposed this cabinet to be a china cabinet. And there's a china cabinet on this side too. We started out with 2 china cabinets, and now we had to add a third because April's just finding a lot of china. We buy the china at pretty cheap prices. China isn't really popular right now, and so we usually don't pay too much for any of these. And of course, we're showing just one plate or one piece of the china, but we have a lot. So like of this one, this pattern down in the basement, if you ever go into the basement, you'll see it's just filled with plates and accessories, dinnerware. This pattern is called Azalea, and they started making this one I think in 1918, but I think this pattern or this set is from 1921. But each plate downstairs we have a lot more. So even though we have, I don't know, 20 plates here, there's a lot more plates downstairs. And April has started collecting teapots too. They'll sometimes come with a set, but if we can find just a teapot, then April will decide to buy that. We also have a lot of gravy boats. There's a gravy boat there, and there's one up there, and another gravy boat here, and a gravy boat here. There's different styles to the gravy boats. This one is a 1 pour. This one is a 2-sided pouring gravy boat. And sometimes they have the plate attached. That's very common. Usually the gravy boat will have a plate attached. This one doesn't, so this one's a little bit of a rarity. They also make salt and pepper shakers. They make fruit bowls. This one is from 1921. It seems like the older patterns were more complex. They had a lot of things going on. For example, it's a white bowl, but then they put this kind of ivory color on there. It's also decorated with gold. It has flowers that bleed down into the white portion. Whereas later it seems like they just made the plates more simple. This plate here, April tells me that's the most expensive plate we have. This one costs about $50 just for the plate, just for the dinner plate. There's some other nice patterns here, but you can see they're a lot simpler. This one's simply gold against kind of a brown background, and it is real gold, it's just very thin. Here's another pretty pattern, and some of them have relief to them. This one has relief. You can actually feel that pattern. It sticks up from the glaze a little bit. This is all Noritake. All of this china is all a brand called Noritake, made in China. Probably the most popular brand of china in the world. When they were making china, during their peak time, they were making 1 million pieces of china a month. So there's a lot of Noritake china out there. This is not china, it's made by Noritake, and usually you can tell on the bottom, it will say Noritake on the bottom. We get a lot of this stuff at DI. Here's another one by Noritake. But this is all stoneware. This whole shelf is stoneware, which is a thicker, much heavier, much cheaper to make. So they came out with a more affordable line. But most of it is china, just like this down here. This one's interesting in that normally the salad plate matches the dinner plate, but in this case they reversed it. So this one's mostly white, and then this one's mostly black. And so that's an interesting thing they did with this particular pattern. The rest of this are all collectibles. You're not really supposed to use these for eating. You might hang this on a wall or something like that. This is all, again, Noritake. This one's a very famous design. I don't know if it says, it might be from like 1918, that particular piece. When April started collecting, we ran into kind of a happy situation. April would go around and look at various china and see things she liked. And this whole area here is made in the Philippines. So this one, very beautiful bowl. I don't know if you can tell, it's a very dark blue, very beautiful bowl with gold. And on the back, of course, it says Noritake, but then it also says it's made in the Philippines. So because that's April's home country, she thought that was great. Most of these are made in the Philippines. We discovered they make them in Philippines and Sri Lanka and, of course, Japan. Most of this is from Japan. This is an interesting piece. This isn't a teacup. This is a soup bowl, of all things. And again, it says Noritake on there. This is a very old piece. You can tell by this back stamp that this is before 1921 because it says Nippon. So yeah, this is a very old piece, very, very delicate. This weighs almost nothing. The plate, the saucer is a little bit heavier, but boy, both of them are just so delicate. This is a newer piece, but it's pretty complicated. Usually the newer pieces are simpler. Here's just a plain plate. Here's another one with just a floral pattern in the middle. Here's another one. The older patterns were more complex. Maybe more like that. Here's some older ones. This is an older one. So the pattern, the bowl itself is white, but they added this ivory or slight yellow color to it. It also is hand painted. You can see that it's not a consistent color all the way around, and the painting on the inside is different. That means it's hand painted. This one wasn't colored in a factory or anything. Oh, it doesn't say what this one. Oh, this one's very early. This particular, it doesn't say Noritake on it, but because we've studied a lot and I have a lot of books on Noritake, this is a Noritake symbol. But it's from very early, maybe 1918 or 1920. Here's another quite complex pattern with blue. I like this one. Again, the bowl itself is white, as you can see, but they added this ivory cream color to it, and then lots of designs on there. This one's from 1933. It does say Noritake on it. And this is our pattern, the one that we call our pattern. This one's called Blue Hill. And we have a lot of this downstairs. I think we've purchased this maybe 4 or 5 times. The first time we got a almost full set. So we bought maybe 40 or 50 pieces of it, but since then we bought it 4 more times, so we have a lot of this. This one's a serving platter. Typically these would be a lot of money. Again, it says Noritake, and it's the Blue Hill pattern. In recent times, since about 1950, they started putting the name of the pattern on there and sometimes a number too. So Blue Hill is a newer pattern. This is the dinner plate. If you look close, there are actually other colors. A little bit of pink in there and some bluish tones. We were lucky to find this one that's almost new. Sometimes you can see wear on the surface of the plate, or the silver. It's actually platinum. Will start to wear off along the edges. And then as a surprise for April, none of the patterns we had the coffee pot. So I found one for sale on eBay, and I bought this one then for April. She was very happy to finally have a coffee pot. And again, it's the Blue Hill pattern by Noritake. So that worked out really well. We got a really good price on this one off of eBay. And the salt and pepper shakers too, they say Noritake on the bottom. So that's our newest hobby, is collecting Noritake. We had to buy the china cabinets too, and we were lucky enough to find this one. This is a rare china cabinet actually. It's by Thomasville, and we'd been looking for a china cabinet for a long time, trying to find one, but I wanted to find one with 4 shelves. It's very unusual, it turns out, because I knew we had a lot of china and we needed someplace to put it. So I finally found one that has 3 shelves and then the bottom one. So I call this a 4 shelf. And so we found this disassembled and everything at DI, and it was $60. So we were really, really lucky to find this one. I had to make a few changes to it. We have so much china that the light doesn't go down to the bottom. So I added some little lights so that you can actually see the china down at the bottom. So $60 was a fabulous deal. And then we found another one, and these china cabinets usually go for thousands of dollars. This one's only a 3 shelf china cabinet, which most of them are. Most of them are just 3 shelves. But the nice thing about this one is it can hold 3 plates in the center of the china cabinet. Most china cabinets, like this one over here, you can only have 2 plates. And so this one is a much wider china cabinet than normal. And this one is oak. This one again is a Thomasville. And this one's oak, which happens to match the wood that's in the house itself, like the stairs. So I wanted to let you know that there's some changes to the house. When you first walk in, you'll say, hey, what's all this stuff? Well, all of this stuff is April's china, and she goes kind of crazy with it. But it's an interesting hobby. And yeah, if you go down to the basement, you're going to see boxes and boxes and boxes just stacked up to the ceiling of china. So, wanted to let you know that. If you happen to come home, that's all.